BS Live Rocks, Max Inc. Radio for the people, live off the floor. See how we roll. Soldier down, no more running away. And BS Live Rocks, Bobby and Shane, Max Inc. Radio, and on the phone, very privileged to be speaking to a Canadian legend, Mr. Gordon Deppe, on the phone from the Spoons. Welcome to the show.
Oh, my pleasure to be here.
Listen, I got to tell you something. I remember being back in, the early 80s in high school, and a girl by the name of Tracy Kaufman came to me and said, you need to listen to this music. And it was Romantic Traffic by the Spoons. And at the time, Much Music was on the air. And I remember going home and seeing the video. And that was shot in Toronto, right, at one of the TTC things or something, subways?
Yeah, exactly. It was all through the subways of Toronto. And it's funny, that's the one people really remember us by. And it was probably the cheapest and most unplanned one because we didn't have much budget for that one, and we just went into the subways of Toronto with a handheld camera and winged it. But because it was so real, it ended up being the most liked.
I thought it was amazing, and the face that Rob Pruce would make, and his hair, and it was just that. It was killer, man.
I enjoyed that one, and it shows, like you say, everybody's character, whether it's Rob or Derek or Sandy.
Now you have 12 albums out. Is that correct?
Something like that. And, well, in the old days they had EPs, which was same size as a full vinyl. So there's some EPs like the Tell No Lies, Romantic Traffic were never on an album. They were on a extended dance mix. And,
right.
Yeah, it sounds about right. We put out new albums until as recently as 2 years ago.
Yeah, you've had some 30th anniversary EPs out, correct, in the last couple of years, right? Let's talk about that and what's happening with the Spoons now. Well,
it's pretty exciting because not only is it the anniversary. These days, every year is the 30th of something, and now it's the 30th of Romantic Traffic, Tell No Lies. We have new material. I have a book out called Spoon Fed, which is the #1 bestseller on Amazon. It's the whole story of the Spoons in my life, and it's led me down a completely different path. I've been doing speaking engagements with the book. I've been doing acoustic performances. It's just a whole new avenue that I've never just even knew was there. And then the other thing that we're working on, so we kind of have three spoons. We have the vintage spoons, we have the acoustic version, which I do usually with a piano player, and then an exciting thing we're working on, anybody who's seen us, we do some remixes of Nova Heart, for instance, where it's sort of electronic dance versions, and we're sort of building a show all around that and traveling with a DJ and making it more, catered at the electronic dance crowd.
Why have so many people been into the new wave synth pop stuff again? This is what is amazing, is that I go out and I saw you play at in St. Catharines, which was Grape and Wine. I think it was Grape and Wine you did. And in Burlington at the Sound of Music, and people everywhere singing every lyric. I mean, that's got to make you feel awesome this many years later.
Oh, yeah, I never thought it would last this long. That's one of the things I talk about in the book. When the 90s came and grunge came in, I thought that was it. It was over. And I never expected that we have a second life. But like you say, not only are the old fans liking the 80s again, a lot of the kids are like those sounds, and a lot of new bands have the 80s vibe to them. So we're pretty fortunate to be part of that resurgence.
Now, what do you personally listen to these days?
Oh, geez, I listen to all sorts. I'm still the old school. I've never downloaded a song. I buy a whole album and listen to it from beginning to end over and over again, just because I love the flow of it and the mood and stuff. And the latest thing I bought that I really liked was Johnny Marr's solo album, from Smith.
Yes.
He's actually a great singer. It's kind of like Oasis types. I really miss Oasis. I love the British harder pop bands like Oasis and Verve. Those are my favorite bands, and both of those bands are not really recording anymore, so I have to find alternatives. And Johnny Marr's album is really good, and Ride, people like that. So. Yeah, I catch the odd song on the radio that I like. Like the last Fossil People album was pretty cool. I'm not really a retro guy. I don't hang on to the 80s and pine for them or anything. I kind of like new stuff, and the new Spoon stuff is, it retains a little bit of the 80s, but we don't stand still and try to be nostalgic.
Now, what inspired you to write a book?
Well, I've always been a writer since I was a kid. That's really where I started being creative, even before writing songs. And in '95, I think, we put out a best-of album called Collectible Spoons. And for that, the record company asked me to write some liner notes. And it ended up being like a fold-out, so it was like 4 or 5 pages. I had to fill with little stories and anecdotes. And it was then that I realized that there was really a story to be told. And the reaction I got from fans from those liner notes was like, wow, we want to hear more of this stuff. And that was the first time I think I thought of maybe writing a book one day. So I've been posting little stories as blogs on our Facebook for quite a while, and now I just pieced them together and filled in the gaps, and there was a book.
And then now you can make money off of all that. We're speaking to Gordon Deppe of the Spoons, who has a brand new book out, and it's called Spoon Fed. Before we get to that, tell me, you have two other projects as well, Five Star Fall and The Lost Boys. Are those bands still playing?
The Five Star Fall, not so much. Lost Boys a little bit, but right now there's enough spoons and the acoustic stuff to keep me busy. It's really good with all the festivals coming up. And I'm amazed how well the acoustic thing is going over. I did, for the first time last fall with Gowan, he did his songs on the piano. I did my songs on the acoustic guitar at the Conservatory of Music in Toronto, and I was scared. I'd never done it like that. And I've gone from fearing it to being addicted to it. I'm craving it. You really get a different connection with your audience. When you do a regular spoon show or a loud show, it's all about the energy and people dancing and stuff. But when you do a sit-down show, people hang on to every word and you know that you sing, and it's a whole other experience.
Now let's plug. You have a book signing and an acoustic show coming up in Toronto.
Yeah, there's a couple of those coming up. I forget the date right now. Is it July the 10th? I think?
It is July the 10th, Gord. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I forget which are the regular spoon shows and which are the acoustic. And usually I'll bring along our keyboard player from the Spoons, and he'll play electric piano or something. Nice,
and that's at Tennessee's, I think that's Queen Street West, isn't it, in Toronto?
I think so. I think we'll also be in Hamilton July 22nd for the Pan Am Games. We're playing on the soccer field there between games, and there are other lots of festivals. You know, we'll be somewhere in your neighborhood, you know, right from, you know, from Wasaga Beach to Windsor. We're doing festivals all through the summer.
Well, listen, Gord, it's a pleasure to talk to you. You can buy the book on Amazon.
You can get it at Chapters Indigos. You can get it through the Spoon site. You get it at Spoon shows. Like you can get it this Saturday at our show at the Lakeshore Catholic Auditorium. So yeah, then you can get it signed and get something personal written into it as well.
That's awesome. And I look forward to seeing you this summer. I'm going to make sure that I check you out at one of these events. And I've always, like I said, been a big Spoons fan. We've played your songs, a few of your hit songs on the BS Live Rock Show. I wish you all the best with the book and everything coming up with the Spoons this year.
Well, thank you so much, and I hope to see you out there.
All right, we'll make sure to be in touch. How about some romantic traffic? The Spoons, this is BS Live Rocks on Accent Radio. Radio for the people.
He passes up ahead. She's losing him in romantic traffic. A place with no signs to tell you where they're going to. She's changing lanes a bit too slow. Someone hits her from behind, and she finds new love in romantic traffic. A place where dreams